Good morning, everyone. Happy Friday. We have made it through another week. I am just going to take a second and see if we're live. It looks like we are. Yay. Welcome to the final day of our Work-Life Balance Challenge. This has been fun for me. I hope that it has been maybe fun, but also useful, impactful. It is something that if you haven't taken the steps yet, at least it's gotten you thinking about the possibility that balance can actually happen for you. Now, the steps that we've been taking this week have been just incremental, and they've been little, dips in the pond, and that's exactly where we want to start, just to kind of get a sense of what kinds of shifts we might be able to see. But there's definitely a lot that we can build on this for sure. So if you are joining me, I would love for you to say hello. Let me know if you're watching live or on the replay, #live, #replay. I'm just going to give it a second for people to hopefully filter in. I'm going to take a sip of my coffee. Haven't had much of it today. It's been a busy morning. And where are you watching from if you're watching live? Where are you watching from? Would love to know. And I also would love to know, what are your plans for this weekend? It is the weekend already again. We're going to be heading into the middle of June, which is insane to me. It goes by, excuse me, so fast. We're going to get in some more pool time today. Celebrate my niece's birthday, and then we have a baseball tournament. It's going to be hot, but it's nice and close to our house, so that's good. All right, let's go ahead and get started. So if you missed days 1 through 4 and you are here joining us, you can watch all of the replays. They are pinned at the top of our page, and they're in the event that I created. You definitely can join in today, having not watched the first 4. This particular action is something that could be a standalone, but definitely works better if it's kind of building on top of the other things. So today is the last day of our challenge, and I am just blown away by the engagement and desire to really create a better balance for yourself and your family. So just know, like I said, this is sequenced in a 5-day window, but this is obviously something that you could take these actions and space them out over a time that works for you. So on Monday, we identified our priorities. Right, I told you to keep it to no more than 10. Tuesday, we checked our schedules to see how well we're doing and how we're spending our time. Is it aligned with our priorities? Wednesday, we noted one thing we could take off our plate, or that we could delegate or reduce. And then yesterday, you were to identify your energy cycle. So kind of just having some awareness during your day and seeing when your energy dips, when your energy peaks. And then the next step up for that would be kind of an up level, would be being intentional about what you're doing during your peak energy time so you can be the most productive as possible. I also have shared with you an amazing opportunity to work with me and have deeper support, and I'm going to highlight some of those things again at the end of our live today. So today, though, when we're looking at the last step here, we're going to wrap things up. We're going to be talking about setting time boundaries between work and family and yourself, right, and your loved ones. So although our work may be really important to us, or maybe it takes up a significant amount of our time, it shouldn't be our entire life. Now, there's going to be some of you moms out there who work a lot and maybe struggle with the self-care, the time with your kids, the eating, cooking healthy foods, hobbies, all that. And then there might be some of you who are trying to get things done at home, working, what have you, but kids are kind of you're at home with your kids, right? So it's making it harder to get things done. So I'll try and kind of use both of those examples, but regardless, it's important that we're setting boundaries between these where we can. Now, with that being said, there's going to be some of you who do have, say, younger children that sometimes those boundaries are harder to establish because you're needed with, your children need you so much more, and they may not have the cognitive capacity to understand that you're working and you can't do X, Y, and Z. So just know that those seasons of your life are just that, they're seasons, and so it's going to be more challenging. And for those of you who are in this space, I'd be happy to support you more specifically. But it's fleeting, right? It's not going to last forever. So, the thing to think about is that you are an individual first, right? You were an individual before you took your job. You're an individual before you maybe got married. You're an individual before you became a mom. So you need to prioritize. Again, remind yourself, you need to prioritize the activities, the people, the hobbies, the things that make you happy. And we've talked about this already, but again, I want to remind you that achieving this balance requires deliberate action. You can't just, throw things in and hope that it sticks and hope that you feel better. You really need to be intentional. So just as we're intentional with thinking about our energy cycle and what we want to stick in those high peak moments, we also have to firmly plan personal time. So beyond, the minutia of daily tasks and work, like we have to cook, we have to clean, we have to do laundry, we have to drive our kids to school and to sports, and we have to work. We also need to firmly plan personal time. You're never going to have time to do other things outside of all of that if you don't really be intentional about it and remind yourself of your priorities, right? Because remember, no matter how hectic your schedule is, you do ultimately have control of your time and your life, okay? That is so important to remember. So this is the way we're going to look at this today through, what I like to call time boundaries is basically being really intentional about how you spend your time and when, you're going to spend time with your kids and how and what amount of time you're going to spend at work and what time you're going to do X, Y, and Z, and you really adhere to those boundaries and you don't let other people shift that. You don't let yourself shift that because it's in alignment with your priorities. So what I want to focus on with time boundaries is planning time for yourself or with loved ones, okay? So what I would like you to think about is just like we would put an appointment in for the dentist or in a work meeting, I want you to think about making time and appointments a calendar date. This may seem weird to plan one-on-one time with someone you love or with yourself, but this is so key. It's so, so important. So creating a calendar date, and this could be spending quality time with yourself, quality time with your kids, quality time with your partner. So I always call these sacred appointments with self, and then you could extend that to sacred appointments with loved ones. And it's interesting because if you something in your calendar, you're typically not gonna be like, I'm just not gonna do that, right? Usually you follow through. So if you put in 30 minutes of sitting out in the hammock and reading a book, and you put it in your Google Calendar, or you put it in your, pen and paper calendar, you're going to stick to it because that time is carved out. If you don't, what happens? You end up finding other things to do and you're like, I'll do it later, and it doesn't happen. So just as you carve out appointments and time for work, for, dentist appointments, things like that, what if you carved out time for yourself and for your friends, for your loved ones, for your kids? Okay, so this might mean that to do this, you might start being more specific about setting specific work hours. Whether you work from home or you work away from home, it is important to determine when you're going to work, when you're going to stop working. Otherwise, you might find yourself, answering work-related emails late at night or during vacations or on your weekends and distracting yourself from your other priorities. So, what is one thing that you can put on your calendar this week? Okay, so whether that's self-care, whether that's family time, and for some of you who, again, are maybe struggling to say work on your business because your kids are home, maybe it's carving out time to work. Okay, so depending on what your challenge is, right? Some of us are maybe working too much and, life, like what I like to call just routine labor of life gets in the way of all of the fun stuff, right? Or it could be, I'm just immersed with my kids and I have no time to work on my business or my side hustle or whatever it might be, right? So depending on your situation, that's what you're going to focus on. Okay, so maybe it's, after this, I say to my husband, like, let's carve out 30 minutes for a walk on Wednesday, or let's carve out time to go out to dinner, or I'm going to just take an hour to myself and I'm going to work out, I'm going to do some yoga, I'm going to do some meditation, I'm going to read, right? And I'm just going to put that in my calendar. It doesn't have to be a half a day, it doesn't have to be hours, it could be even 15 minutes. I've started doing that as an example. So as some of you know, I mentioned this in the first video, I'm also a university instructor. And classes start back up on Monday for summer session. And so I have 3 classes I'm going to be teaching in a summer session. But anyway, I do work on campus, after COVID finally ended. And I find myself like in front of the computer, just like banging stuff workout. And then all of a sudden I notice like, oh my God, I'm hungry, or I have a headache, or whatever it might be. So I started scheduling 15-minute breaks in my calendar, and I get my little notification on my phone, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go for a quick walk. I might do some stretching. I might just walk around the building. I might go chat with an office mate, and I started scheduling it. Otherwise, I didn't do it. So what we don't want this to be is like because some people get anxious about making really, really specific schedules. You have the power to always just be like, nah, not going to do it. But the mindset is not necessarily to just make your schedule super rigid. It's basically putting importance on things that are important. It's really saying, this is important enough, it's making it on my calendar. Because I always feel like the calendar is like, these are things that we're committing to, right? So let's commit to ourselves. How does this feel? I would love to know if you maybe already do this, if you're like, yes, I love this idea, an appointment with yourself, an appointment with your, and you don't have to call it an appointment. Maybe you want to call it something different, right? That doesn't feel so, technical or whatever, but it's something that really can be effective. This is part of what we call time blocking, which I would be more than happy if you're interested in doing another workshop on this. Time blocking is a really cool time management tool that is one of a specific way to also work towards that work-life balance and harmony. So I would love to hear, what your thoughts are on this. And also, because this is kind of it is our last day, like, what are your biggest ahas, insights, takeaways from this challenge? I would really love to hear. Feedback is super important to me because I want to continue to improve and provide you with resources that are actually going to be helpful for you. So now you have 5 things that you can do to work towards that work-life balance. You've got setting your priorities, seeing if your calendar aligns, taking stuff off your plate that doesn't need to be there, looking at your energy cycles and using them accordingly, and creating time boundaries between work and personal, and making appointments with self, with family, to make sure you are sticking to it. Those are 5 major, awesome, really cool ways that you can start to create that work-family balance. So which one's your favorite? I want to hear which ones are you excited about implementing. Give me some love, give me some information. I really want to know which of the 5 have resonated with you the most, or which ones you're implementing. Please give me some feedback. Would definitely love that. Okay, so before we pop off for today, I just want to remind you that enrollment is open for my Bring On the Balance Bootcamp. So again, this is a 4-week one-on-one coaching bootcamp, and the goal of this program is to set a foundation to create that work-life balance and harmony for you. So this means, again, you can really set the stage to prioritize health and family, and just be able to basically reclaim your time so that you can feel more energized and present and like you are truly living, right? Because a lot of times, again, that's why you're here, when we're out of balance, we don't have energy, we're tired, we're burned out, we're unfulfilled, and it's usually because we are not giving ourselves enough time, we're not engaging in self-care, we're not having fun, we're not resting, right? We're not in an alignment with our priorities. So this boot camp is all about kind of rebalancing your pie and setting the first kind of foundational steps. And the reason that this is a step above, quite a few steps above this challenge, is that you're going to have me as your coach. So as your coach, I'm going to be laying out the system, steps to take, but the most important part is providing the support and the accountability and the opportunity to have someone to help you work through any challenges or roadblocks that get in your way. Because oftentimes what we see is when we implement these things ourselves and then it doesn't work, it's really common that we're like, I guess it just doesn't work for me, right? And then we push it to the side. And that's actually not the case at all. Usually there's things that we don't see because we're in it. Like you can't read the ingredients when you're inside the bottle. So as an outside person looking in at your life and at your situation and having the training and skills that I have, I can really help you bust through any challenges and roadblocks so that you can continue to move forward. So this particular boot camp, again, is tailored to your specific needs. But ultimately, again, what we're wanting to do is reclaim your time, energy, really your power over your life so that you can feel healthy and you can have that quality of life and that balance between all the things that are important. So this boot camp would provide you with one 45-minute call that allows you to kind of tackle one area of your life that may get in the way to your success in the program. And then you have 4 60-minute one-on-one coaching sessions that are generally weekly. And we focus on your vision, mindset, meaning, you are in control of your time and really taking ownership and control. We will dive deeper into the priorities, energy giving and energy sucking, activities, conditions to thrive, and creating a schedule with confidence through really useful time management strategies so that you can step confidently and calmly into your life every day and feel that balance and harmony. And then it also includes one 30-minute next steps call after our 4 weeks session, just to see what the next best steps would be for your continued success. And if you enroll by Monday, you will, which is the 13th, you're going to receive a special bonus, which is a 1-hour training on how to supercharge your morning routine, which is super fun and awesome. So I'm going to be dropping in the link to schedule a free call with me. So if you want to talk more about this, I offer a 20-minute clarity call, no strings attached. We can talk more about your goals, where you're at now, your challenges, and see if this boot camp is a good fit for you. You can also use this opportunity to just sign on up. I only have 3 spots left, so you don't want to drag your feet if you're feeling like, oh, this is really for me. And if we get on the call and you're like, I'm not ready, this is not a good fit, that is completely okay. I'm not dragging anybody over the finish line. I'm not trying to sell you on anything. This has to be completely you, and you have to be ready and willing kind of to do the work, right? So super excited to offer support to those of you who need it. And again, no strings attached. It's just a conversation to kind of learn more about what you're looking for and if I'm a good fit for you. All right, everyone, I so enjoyed this 5-day challenge. I can't wait to craft my next one. I'm going to be offering lots of workshops, challenges, masterclasses on a very regular basis, over the summer and into the fall. So be on the lookout for the next one. And again, the check-in will come in at 5 o'clock today. So don't forget, because if you commented on each of the videos, as well as the check-ins, you get entered to win the Amazon gift card, and the winner will be announced on Monday. All right, everyone, I hope you have a fabulous weekend, and I hope that you feel more balanced after this week. All right, everybody, take care.